People network for all sorts of different reasons. It certainly depends on a person's situation. There are people out there who they network for personal reasons, trying to get information, trying to um, get a better house, have a better yard, get the plumber. People network for business or career reasons, trying to get a job, trying to get ahead in a company. And people network for business reasons. And a lot of the times in business, in business, certainly people are looking for to get information. They might look to get an employee. But like in the small business world, it's really all about referrals. That's why people network. That's why people come to AmSpirit Business Connections. That's why people come to competitors of ours, is they want to get referrals. They're trying to get business. They're trying to get something dropping on the top line of their income statement, if you will, sales. I firmly believe that there are three reasons, and only three reasons, why people don't get referrals. And I talk about it all the time on here, have a whole episode devoted to it. But the three reasons why people don't give you referrals is, one, you don't have a relationship with them. And this is not about these three reasons. I'm just going to quickly go through these. One, people don't have a relationship with you. They somehow or another, they don't know you, they don't like you, they might not trust you. And it's not like they distrust you, but they don't know enough that whether they can trust you. So that's the first reason. The second reason is they have a relationship. They like you. They might like you really well, but they don't know how to refer you business because you've failed to educate them on what to be on the lookout for. So that's the second reason. Don't have a relationship. Second reason is you haven't educated them on what to recognize. And then the third reason is while you might have a relationship and they're educated on what to look for and know what to spot, you haven't empowered them with language or the ability to talk about what it is that you do and to refer you. Or it might be a situation where it's just uncomfortable to talk about, maybe something like weight loss or life insurance. So those are the three reasons why people don't get referrals. But when we're talking about getting more referrals, and maybe it's somewhat related to those three, but we're talking about getting more referrals, there are three other items that you need to consider. The first thing you need to do if you're looking to get more referrals is you need to do a good job of measuring the referrals that you do get and that you do give. It's hard to improve something unless you really know where you're at. It's hard to improve something unless you know what's working and what's not working right now. And to do those sorts of things, you need to measure. I mean, you can't lose weight unless you know what your weight is right now. You can't have more money unless you know what your money is now. And it's the same thing with respect to referrals. You have to have a sense as to where you're getting referrals from, who you're giving referrals to. And I don't mean this in the sense of keeping score. Okay, I gave this person 3, only got 1 back. I'm not suggesting that at all, but just understanding who are the people who are out there referring to you and why they're referring to you. What do they do? Maybe they're just, why are they running into lots of people who need what you have? And for a mortgage lender, it's easy to look at a realtor and say, yeah, it's because they're dealing with people buying and selling houses, and mortgage lenders. That's exactly what we help facilitate that transaction with money secured by the home. But it's not always that simple. Sometimes you might be getting referrals. The mortgage lender might be getting referrals from somebody and not really understand why, or it's something that may not be so obvious. Whatever it is. And I don't want to get into the specifics of that, but you really have to kind of stop and look at where you're giving referrals, certainly, because that's going to be helpful. Sometimes you're going to give referrals and it really just doesn't go anywhere because, I don't know. Sometimes people give referrals to attorneys and they don't reciprocate just because, well, they feel uncomfortable. It's like I can't refer because of attorney-client privilege or something like that. But it's good to know those sorts of things. And again, I'm not advocating keeping score. What I mean by keeping score is, okay, I gave you 2 and I haven't got anything, so I'm going to stop giving to you. Just having when I talk about measurement, it's just having an understanding of the referral flow in your business or profession. So that's the first thing. The second thing I suggest if you want to get more referrals is get smarter about it. I don't, whatever you do, if you're a realtor, a mortgage lender, attorney, accountant, you have a craft, and a lot went into becoming successful at that craft. Even a handyman has a craft and needs to understand, how things work and what tools you need, where the best price. There's a craft to everything out there, and getting referrals and giving referrals, there's a craft to it. There's a learning to it. You can get better at it. Referrals don't just happen. It's not happenstance. It's not luck. It's becoming aware of doing the right things. And again, this gets back to the first 3 where I talked about, being good at educating people on how to recognize opportunities. That's part of growing smarter with respect to the referral game. And so what I advocate is really a number of things with respect to learning about referrals. I talk on this podcast about it. Certainly within AmSpirit Business Connections, I talk about it a lot. I've got a book coming out on it called The 3 Reasons Why You Don't Get Referrals, where I really touch into the whole referral process. Mainly those 3 reasons, that I talked about on the front end, but a lot within the book will have, just kind of the educational piece. Here's how you can get better at it. And there's a lot to it, and it's more than I can talk about in, a 15, 20-minute podcast episode. It's more like 20, 25 episodes. But my point is getting smarter about it. Looking to the people who are really good at giving referrals, or people who are very successful at getting referrals and understanding the types of things they're doing. Maybe they really do a good job of building a relationship. And what you're doing is, it's not bad, but it's not good like theirs is good. So you can kind of learn and see the types of things they do, types of small talk conversations they carry, how they talk about themselves, how they talk about their profession. I always tell people you can either sound smart or you can get referrals. And sometimes people try to get too sophisticated, too cute with how they talk about referrals, and people don't understand what they're saying. And so that's all part of the learning process. And I have to be honest, it's like anything. It's like being an attorney. I mean, you go to law school, you get a degree, you study, you pass for the bar, great, you start working and you realize you really don't know that much about the law. You kind of know how to figure things out, but you don't know a lot about the law. And even as you practice law and accumulate this experience, if you talk to some older attorneys, there's always something to learn. The law is continually changing. Accounting's continually changing. How we do accounting is continually changing. It used to be all on paper, and then it's QuickBooks, and now QuickBooks Online, and all sorts of competitors to that. So it's always changing. There's always learning to be done, and it's the same thing with being smarter about referrals. I've been doing this for a lot of years, and it's like every day I'm like, yeah, I should say it this way. I'm going to tweak this. And so I'm constantly learning, trying to get better. So get more referrals, measure, number 1. Number 2, grow smarter, learn about the referral process. And then the third way of getting more referrals, and this is going to sound a little odd, but help the people around you. Help the people around you get more referrals. If you stop and think about it, no matter who you are, you have more experience than somebody. I mean, if you're day 2 in your entrepreneurial journey, you got one day over somebody who's only day one. Now, that might not be a significant amount, but you get my point. It's like, yeah, there are people out there that know more than we know, but there are there are probably just as many people who don't know as much as we know. And so stop and take the time to help them. And the reason that matters is really twofold. One, when you teach somebody, you learn. It's the saying out there, to teach is to learn twice. And, whenever I'm talking to somebody about them getting referrals, I'm having these little epiphanies in my head, or little indicting thoughts like, yeah, I need to do a better job of exactly what I'm telling this person. And I end up doing a better job. I'll tweak my commercial, or how I approach people, or how an email might sound, to try and be more effective. And it all stems from just stopping and helping somebody. But the second reason why helping other people can lead to more referrals for you is those people you help are they're going to remember you. They're going to remember the help that you gave them. They're going to appreciate that. They're going to find a way to reciprocate, and that's likely going to turn into something. Referrals. But the other thing is as you level up those people around you, helping them become more successful, they end up with better clientele and, are better able to refer you. If you stop and think about it, it's that brand new person in business, yeah, they don't have anything to refer because they don't have any sort of clientele built up. But if you can take the time to educate them on how they can be better, how they can give a better message, how they can build better relationships, all of a sudden, 6 months into their journey, they have a lot of opportunity coming their way. And again, they're going to remember you. You've essentially helped yourself. You've essentially raised up the people around you. It's the whole notion of a rising tide raises all ships. So by lifting up the people around you and helping the people around you become more successful, you create a pool of people who are better able to help you. So it's always good to take the time to help others, help level them up, with respect to anything, but certainly with respect to referrals. So if you want more referrals, 3 things. Measure what you're getting and giving now, just so you have a baseline. 2, embark upon learning about being better at networking, learning better about talking about referrals. And then the third thing is help other people. Help other people become more successful. And as they become more successful, that will rub off on you, and you'll get more referrals.